All right, this is the number 10 homework. So you should only be doing 1, B and C, 2, C, E, and F, 3, A, B, and C, and then number 4 and number 5. If you want to do more, go ahead, but these are the only ones required for full credit. All right, so today we are subtracting. So if I look at my first problem here, I have 9 ones and 2 thousands. I'm going to draw my line here because I know this is just one whole number here. So 9 ones and 2 thousands. I'm going to start by putting my decimal place. And 9 ones, here's my ones place. So here's where my 9 goes. Then I look at my label for this number. It's in the thousandths. So 1, 2, 3. And I put a 2 in the thousandths place. I fill in the other places with placeholders or zeros. Okay, then it says minus 3 ones. So once again, there's my decimal. Here's my line in front of the decimal for the ones place, and there's where my 3 goes. I don't like this problem because it's not lined up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up all of my numbers. Notice that my decimals stay lined up. I don't move my decimals. I just add placeholders. Okay, so now that we have everything all in order, now we can subtract. 2 minus 0 is 2. 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 0 again is 0. 9 minus 3 is 6. So I have 6 and 2 thousandths. So I have 6 ones and 2 thousandths. One thing to note, I saw some people in the lesson 9 homework putting in decimals. No decimals when we're writing it with words. Okay, so now I have 4 hundredths and 6 hundredths. Okay, once again, I'm going to stop there because I see my subtraction sign. So this is my one whole number here. I should stop saying one whole number. One full number. And let's look at it again. I'm going to put my decimal place. I know there's not a lot of room on this paper. So hundreds, 1, 2, 3 spaces this way. And I have 4 hundredths, and then I have 6 hundredths. So nothing else goes in it besides our 400. And then if I look here, hundredths needs 2 spots. And I start with 6, and I plug in a 0 as a placeholder. So that's our first number. Now it's saying subtract, keep our decimal here. And then if we look at this again, hundredths, and it says 3 hundredths. So 1, 2, and I'll put my 3 there. The rest I'm going to fill in with zeros. And now I'm going to subtract. 6 minus 3 is 3. 0 minus 0 is 0. Again, bring my decimal. 0, 0. 4 minus 0 is 4. So my answer is 40,000 3 thousandths. That's a lot to say. Okay. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm writing in the wrong thing. So that makes more sense. So here's 4 hundredths, and I had 3 hundredths. Okay. Now we're moving into just regular numbers, no words. So 341 and 84 hundredths minus 21 and 92 hundredths. Okay, once again, make sure those decimals are lined up. That's the most important part. 4 minus 2 is 2. I can't take 9 from 8, so I need to borrow. This becomes a 0. This becomes an 18. 18 minus 9 is 9. Bring down my decimal. Can't take 1 from 0, so I have to borrow again. 10 minus 1 is 9. 3 minus 2 is 1. 3 minus 3 is 3. I'm sorry, 3 minus 0 is 3. Okay, next one. I have 50 and 416 thousandths minus 4 and 25 hundredths. Notice I don't have a number to line up with my 6. I'm going to throw a 0 in there. Make sure you do that. If you don't, you might get confused and subtract these two numbers instead. 6 minus 0 is 6. 1 minus 5 I can't do, so I need to borrow. 11 minus 5 is 6. 3 minus 2 is 1. I bring down my decimal. 0 minus 4 I can't do, so I need to borrow. 10 minus 4 I can do is 6, and 4 minus nothing is 4. Okay, 46 and 166 thousandths is my answer. Finally, I have 741. When there's no decimal, we need to make sure that we put our decimal at the end of a number. And we're subtracting 3 and 91 hundredths. Okay, because we don't have any numbers up here, we need to put some zeros for placeholders. I'm going to just subtract. 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 minus 9 is 0. Bring my decimal down. 0 minus 3 I can't do. I'm going to borrow. 10 minus 3 is 7. 3 minus nothing, and 7. So my final answer is 737 and 9 hundredths. On to the back. All right, so I have 30 tens. So one way to think of it is, what is 30 times 10? Well, 30 times 10 is 300. Okay, let's look at this number. 3 tens and 3 tenths. So 3 tens, 3 times 10 is 30, and 3 times 1/10 is 3 tenths. So I'm going to take 300 minus 30.3. We're going to put our decimal in our 0 placeholder. Go all the way across because we can't borrow. 10 becomes 9, 10 becomes 9, and 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. 9 minus 0 is 9. 9 minus 3 is 6. 2 minus nothing is 2. And bring down that decimal. Okay, my answer is 269 and 7 tenths. All right, the next one, 5. It doesn't have a label, so we're going to assume they mean 5 ones. So just a regular old 5. I'm going to put a decimal after the end. Minus 16 tenths. So there's my decimal. And here's where the tenths place goes. We always start at the end of the number and work forwards. So there's my 6. Oh, I can't go backwards. So I need to go forwards, and there's my where my 1 goes. So really 16 tenths is the same thing as saying 1 and 6 tenths. Okay, I'm going to put a 0 here for a placeholder. This becomes a 10. This becomes a 4. 10 minus 6 is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. And I bring my decimal down. Okay, the next one, 24 tenths. Okay, here's my decimal. Here's my tenths place. I'm going to start my number, but I can't finish it, so I need to keep going this way with it. So 24 tenths is really the same as 2.4. And we're going to subtract 1 and 3 tenths. So I'm going to, again, put my decimal, line it up, and I have 1, 1, and I have 3 tenths. Here's my tenths place. 4 minus 3 is 1. Bring down my decimal. 2 minus 1 is 1. And there's my answers for those. All right, the next one. Mr. House wrote 8 tenths minus 5 hundredths on the board. Maggie said the answer is 3 hundredths because 8 minus 5 is 3. Is she correct? So typically when they say that is she correct, usually they're not. So let's look and see why Maggie is wrong. So if I look at my first number, I'm going to put a decimal, and I'm looking at my label first. So my label is tenths, so that means I'm going to draw one line after the decimal. And I'm going to fill that in with an 8. Okay, done with that. Now I'm going to look at my next one. Again, I'm going to draw my decimal. I'm going to look at my label, hundredths. That means there's 2 lines. Okay, and I'm going to put a 5. And I ran out of numbers, so I'm going to put a 0 there as a placeholder. Now I'm going to subtract. Put a 0 here. And 0 minus 5 can't happen, so we need to borrow. There's 7 and 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus 0 is 7. So really, there's our answer. She's not correct because she did not know which place values she was subtracting from. All right, and the last question.